In this video, we are finally advertising our Vauxhall Corsa for sale. This is actually belongs to Nanny HubNut, well, and Bampy HubNut on the Miss HubNut side of the family. It is their car, they are moving it on. We've tidied it up, we've replaced the back box, we've fitted some new tyres. Let's see what it's actually like, and if you want to buy it, do let us know. Email ian@hubnut.org and we can do you a deal on this little Corsa. So this is a 1997 Vauxhall Corsa, obviously really an Opel Corsa, but Vauxhall here in the UK. It has slightly wrong wheel trims, but otherwise it's a tidy looking little thing. We've used some Owatrol products which have brought the bumpers up nicely. Sadly the same can't be said of the wheel trims, but the mirrors and everything. It's a really nice looking car. So the wheel trims are kind of copies of later Vauxhall trims. It should have tiny little hubcaps really, but it's fairly tidy condition. It has to be said, 60,000 miles on the clock, and yeah, I really like this little thing. I passed my driving test in one of these. This is a Corsa 1.2 Merit, so it's bringing back a lot of memories for me, even though mine was a pre-facelift. So even though this is the facelift one, it still has the old Family 2 engine. Let's have a look. And there we go. Miss HubNut has cleaned up the engine bay, so it's looking quite nice in here. We'll be very honest with this car though. We've had to tidy up some corrosion here. I think Miss HubNut did a lovely job of sorting that out and stopping it getting any worse. There's little scabby bits like this here and there. Notice the inner trim is just plastic. There's no metal there at all, as designed. But yeah, it looks okay. Could probably do with a cam belt. Cam belt was done at 23,000 miles. It's now at 60,000 miles in time. That is probably overdue, but it should be fairly simple on this car. And it runs really, really nicely. In fact, I will demonstrate how nicely it runs by starting the engine. I think we're in neutral. Yep, here we go. It really is so quiet, you can hear the injector or injectors, I don't know if it's multi or single, but you can hear them firing away. Beautiful smooth little engine, and now we've replaced the back box. It sounds nice and quiet at the back as well. Ignore the drips, literally just driven it from the car wash. Had to film it while it was still clean. This is mid Wales, it won't last long, but yeah, sounds sweet as a nut. We will take her for a drive in a moment. So if we head inside, it's all pretty tidy in here, to be honest. It's manual everything, manual windows, manual locks, manual steering, no airbag. It's as simple as it gets really. This seat is sadly quite tired and I think the foam has gone out of it, so it's a little harsh on the back, and it's got the typical wear on the gear lever gaiter that you'd kind of expect of a Vauxhall. It's kind of what they do. We've got the original Grundig radio, no cassette player, and the austerity continues here, where you don't even get a cigarette lighter, you just get a blanking plug. 4-speed heater works really, really well. Got shelves for various things. We've still got its hanger from when it attended Festival of the Unexceptional in 2023. That was not long after it was purchased. And we've got some history here. It is far from comprehensive, but there's a stash of work done by the current owners, the MOTs and services. And this was at 35,000 miles it had a service. 2004. It was, has it got the mileage on this one? No, we haven't got the mileage on that one. Oh no, there we go, 31,203. It has not seen a lot of use, this car. That's just carrying out a service. Replaced cam belt, but that was 2002. There's nothing in the history to indicate whether that was done again. But yeah, nice to have a bit of history with the car. Got the original books as well. That's wrong. You want 31 in your front tyres and 26 in the back, we have discovered. We have replaced 2 of the tyres. It wears fairly recent Churchills on the front and now has a matching pair on the rear. But yeah, pretty tidy, it has to be said. It's not bad at all in here. Sitting in the back, one thing that strikes you straight away is it's actually quite spacious. Look at the legroom. That's a seat set for me. And there's actually quite a lot of legroom in the back, which is quite nice. I've even clipped the seat belts. They actually have a little mounting point to attach them to the seat to keep them out of the way. And something I hadn't discovered until today is you can actually adjust the rake of the back rest, so you can bring it more upright for a bit more space in the boot, albeit it then leaves an ugly gap between the seat and the parcel shelf. But still, you know, innovations. And we've got a height adjustment on the seat belt as well. And look, we've got a belt clip. Remember those? Very much a feature back in the day. But yeah, seat goes forward and the massive door allows you to get out with a certain amount of grace. It has to be said. Lovely. So let's have a look at the boot. There is some damage. There's been some minor damage in the past couple of years here, which has been touched up a little imperfectly, but you know, we're being honest here, folks. And in the back, we've got room for a dry robe and a backpack. Plenty of space in here. And I think there's even a full-size spare wheel. There is. Say full size, it's quite a skinny thing, but that is down there as the spare. I think that's the best of the tyres we took off the car, and we've put the old spare in the bin and fitted one of these Churchills 145/80 on a 13-inch wheel. The underside of the car is in pretty good shape, but I did notice some rot here. So if I sneak you in underneath, this area here at the back, that rear cross member is a little bit crusty. We're going to be honest, we don't want you finding any nasty surprises, but otherwise this car is seriously good underneath. We did take it to Cambrian Classics, Tim, and he had a good poke about underneath and seemed pretty satisfied with it. There's little bits of surface rust here and there. This is the time to catch this car. If you want to go all crazy with upgrades and go rallying, it is a 3-door non-sunroof model. I believe that is desirable, but it really deserves to live on as it is. It's such a cute little thing and a great little car. But what does it drive like? Oh, one little nugget that isn't really relevant to this, but the current owners of this car, Miss HubNut's parents, used to run the cafe here in Aberavon in this little wedge-shaped building many moons ago. I will say, you always have to have a bit of a reach for your seatbelt back there. It's got seatbelt pretensioners at least. But start the engine and we can set about the important business of the wiper test. Let's just try and improve your angle to get the full windscreen in. So there we go. And tiny little triangle of doom up the top, but not a bad wiping performance at all. Perhaps could come a little closer to the edge of the windscreen if we're being really fussy. Put lights on because we've got a bit of low level sun. But yeah, it's a lovely little thing to drive and it just takes me back. You know, I would have been doing this feed the wheel and manoeuvring in one of these back in 1995. Holy smokes, that's 30 years ago. Ah, that's depressing. But yeah, really fuss-free little car to drive. It just drives really nicely, and although it is manual steering, it's quite light at parking speeds. It's not too difficult at all. The turning circle is really pretty good. We go all the way around. Look at that. Absolutely marvellous. And yeah, it's not a powerful engine. It's 45 brake horsepower. It was actually derated slightly, I believe. I'm not entirely sure why. But very tractable, so you can keep the revs nice and low. We're doing about 12 miles an hour in third gear. Downside being it does get a little bit revvy motorway speeds, but it will just sit at 70 all day. It will take a while to get there, but it will sit there. And we filled the tank when we bought it, so you're even getting an almost full tank because it just seems to sip the juice. Road tax will be about £210 a year, a slight downside, but if you're looking to look after this car, you may only tax it for 6 months a year anyway and keep it tucked away somewhere nice. It would be nice for that to happen. But yeah, little manual mirrors, and yeah, not even any map reading lights. It's just got the basic courtesy lamp. Oh, look, a Mazda Demio. That's a local car we see quite a lot. Gives you your Gran Turismo vibes. Did you start off with a Mazda Demio? I know I did. Well, it's just a charming little car, really. It just behaves so nicely. Brakes need a bit of a shove, a bit old school in that regard. But yeah, it certainly brings back a lot of memories for me. Memories from 30 years ago. Oh, don't even think about it. Something else you can say is that this has got the same indicator stalks as a TVR, although they later cut the plastic off and used bits of aluminium, but it's the same indicator stalk really. So just nice and tractable. Danger Ranger. Perfectly happy at 30 mile an hour in fourth, even going uphill. The temperature gauge is hilarious because it looks like the needle's reading really low, but that's just over 90 degrees. And it goes basically from 90 to 100, and then obviously a bit beyond if it's overheating. But the gauge barely moves from 90, but it always looks really low because that's how the gauge is designed. Very, very peculiar. Yeah, blind. Oh, national speed limit now. Let's open her up a bit more. Yeah, performance is gentle. We're still going uphill, but it sounds good. Grrr. Like Vauxhall engines always did. Ford really had no rival engine for the Corsas until they got the Yamaha penned 1.25 in the Mark IV Fiestas. That was a proper peachy little engine. But the Corsa B was launched in 1992, I think it was. So yeah, at the time, I think I would definitely have had one of these over a Fiesta. It's just part of the revival of the super mini market. It was led by cars in 1984, such as the Fiat Uno and the Peugeot 205. Super minis that somehow seem to be a bit more than just city cars. And although the 1.2 Corsa is not the best way to experience the refinement on offer in this market sector, it's really not a bad little thing at all. Because the 5-door had a slightly different body shell, a more upright rear end and a smaller rear wiper. Yeah, the ratios are stacked fairly close together really. But the engine hasn't really got the torque for the gearing to be any longer. Oh, Volvo 850 we are being treated on this road test. But yeah, it just drives really nicely. The steering wheel is dead straight. No clunks and bangs, no rattles. It's a really tidy little car. 60,000 miles, 867 on the clock. So not doing bad. I don't think we've done 100 miles in it since we collected it. But yeah, it's a really nice little thing. So if you would like to buy this beautiful little Corsa, do drop us a line, Ian at HubNut.org. We're looking for £1,200, although that was before I discovered the crispy bits around the back, so we are willing to negotiate. We just wanted to go to a good home really. Obviously it's located here in West Wales. We can possibly help with transport. We can definitely help get you to the car if you wanted to get the train to Carmarthen or Aberystwyth. We could happily pick you up and send you on your way in this bonny little car. So get in touch if you fancy a little bit of Corsa action. And obviously we'd love it if you stayed in touch just to see what this car does next. But that's not compulsory. Oh, here comes to 60, and we're going downhill this time, so a bit more reasonable. Doing 40 at the moment. Plant foot now. And that's us at 60 miles an hour. As you can hear, it is a little buzzy, but the engine's very smooth, so it's not unrelaxing. There's a bit of road noise, but yeah, it's a really nice little car. Anyway, thanks for watching. There she is. Get in touch if you'd like her. Bye. Not my Volkswagen LT, but rear wash. Yeah, we can do rear wash. Rear wiper blade, not very good. And as soon as you take your hand off the wash, it stops and you just have to wait for intermittent. But decent wiping performance for that size window.